Marc Thiessen is a columnist with Washington Post and a Fox News contributor, and the author of Unintimidated, A Governor's Story and a Nation's Challenge. So he has spent quite a bit of time with Scott Walker working on that book, and he joins us now. Marc, good morning. Good to have you here today.
Good to be with you, Martha.
So, you know, people I think are kind of at a saturation point. They've been learning about all these candidates, watching them get into the mix, but everybody's been waiting for Scott Walker to get in. Tell us what we should know about this man.
Well, I went into that book an admirer and came out a true believer. I mean, this guy, I got to see him up close, got to know his team, got to know his family, and he's a truly impressive individual. First of all, he's super smart. He came into office, he inherited a $3.6 billion deficit and turned it into $1 billion surplus without raising taxes, without cutting services for the poor, without decimating education. That is just absolute political genius. But second, he's a winner. This is a guy who took on the unions and won. He became the first governor in American history to face a recall election and win. He was reelected. He won 3 elections in Wisconsin in 4 years in a state that hasn't gone Republican for president since 1984, and he did it not by tacking to the center, but by governing as an unapologetic, full-spectrum conservative.
All right, so you see him as a reformer, and a lot of conservatives have asked that question, really, of each one of these potential candidates. Are you truly going to shake things up and reform? You know, you have to bring up what Trump has done in terms of galvanizing attention on these issues, for being a fighter and for not being afraid to say what's on a lot of people's minds. Can Scott Walker kind of do that? Can he do that, you know, in the form of a guy who's also walked the walk as governor?
No, absolutely. I mean, the difference between Walker and people like Trump and people like some of the other candidates in the Republican race is that he's not just a fighter, he's a fighter who wins. He's won, he's taken on tough fights, and he's won every single time. The left has tried, and there's probably no politician in America that the left has done more and spent more money to try to destroy than Scott Walker in the last several years, and he's still standing, and he's now one of the leading candidates for president. And the key to it is that in his recall election, 1 out of 6 people who voted for him in his recall planned to vote for Barack Obama that same year.
Yeah, that's
about 11% of those folks are Obama Walker voters, so he can rally the base and win the Senate. There's no other candidate who can do that.